Bro, look up at the sky and think about the absolute most chaotic, rage-fueled vehicle human beings have ever created. A helicopter does not respect nature. It is basically an aerodynamic brick, fueled entirely by pure violence and disrespect. It looks at the laws of physics, laughs right in their face, and beats the absolute soul out of the air until gravity just gives up. If an airplane is a graceful surfer, a helicopter is a dude standing in a pool, aggressively punching the water until he floats. Helicopters shouldn't even fly. Look at one sitting on a helipad. It's a heavy metal bubble strapped to a massive explosive engine, sitting on metal lawn chair legs. It has no massive gliding wings. It basically looks like an angry metal insect. So how does this absolute unit lift off without instantly self-destructing? We got to talk about what's actually happening on top of that metal bubble. Most people think it's just a giant ceiling fan blowing air down. But bro, you are dead wrong. Those aren't fan blades. They are literally wings. They are officially called rotary wings. If you chop a massive helicopter blade in half, you see a fat, curved teardrop shape. It's the exact same shape as a commercial airplane wing. When it slices through the air, the fast air on top creates a giant invisible vacuum cleaner. The slow air on the bottom makes an invisible mattress. Lift gets created, and the whole object gets sucked into the sky. But airplanes need a runway to get wind flowing over their wings. The helicopter looks at the airplane and says, "Bro, I don't need a runway. I am the runway." Instead of moving its whole heavy body forward, the helicopter just takes two skinny wings and bolts them to a spinning metal stick. The body just chills there on the tarmac, doing absolutely nothing. But those skinny wings on top rip through the air at hundreds of miles an hour. They generate stupid amounts of lift while standing completely still. It cranks the engine, and those spinning wings literally grab the heavy bubble by the roof and yank it into the clouds. Sounds simple, right? But this is where the physics party turns into a total nightmare. We got to invite Sir Isaac Newton back into the room. Newton's third law says every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And Newton absolutely hates helicopters. The massive engine inside is violently twisting the main shaft to the left to spin those heavy blades. But because of Newton, the blades fight back and push the entire helicopter body to the right. Imagine sitting in a swivel desk chair with your feet off the ground. Now you grab a heavy metal barbell and aggressively spin it to the left. Your chair instantly spins to the right, and you can't stop it. This rotational force is called torque, and it is the helicopter's ultimate enemy. If you just strapped an engine to a bubble, it would instantly spin out of control the second it left the ground. It would be a terrifying, vomit-inducing carnival ride until it crashed. So how do we stop the death spin? We use the most hilarious brute force fix in aviation history. We literally strap a second, smaller helicopter sideways onto the tail. Look at the back of any chopper. That tiny spinning tail rotor isn't there to make it go forward or up. Its one job is to aggressively shove the tail sideways to cancel out the main blades. If the engine twists the body right, the tail rotor acts like an invisible hand shoving the tail left. It's a perpetual, high-stakes game of arm wrestling. They perfectly balance out so the body stays beautifully still. If that tail rotor breaks, the illusion dies. You immediately enter a terrifying death spin. Okay, so it hovers. But how the heck do you steer a heavy pendulum hanging from a spinning ceiling fan? You can't use wing flaps because these wings are spinning at 500 miles an hour. Enter the absolute craziest piece of engineering ever, the swash plate. To go forward, you literally have to tilt the entire spinning disc of blades forward. But how do you tilt a blade moving faster than a race car? The swash plate is a mechanical ring right under the blades. When you push the joystick forward, the swash plate mechanically tilts. Every single time a blade passes the back of the chopper, the swash plate forces it to tilt up. It takes a fat bite of air and creates massive lift in the back. But a split second later, when that same blade hits the front, the swash plate flattens it out to take a tiny bite. Bro, these massive metal blades are physically twisting their angle on their hinges 5 times a second. This tilts the whole spinning disc forward, and the beast surges ahead. It's basically like trying to perfectly ice a wedding cake while riding a mechanical bull. The pilot is literally hacking aerodynamics thousands of times a minute just to fly straight. If you let go of airplane controls, it glides. If you let go of helicopter controls, you have 3 seconds before it becomes a tumbling metal death trap. You are balancing on a beach ball while juggling bowling pins. But what happens when the ultimate nightmare hits and the engine totally dies midair? A helicopter is a metal brick with no forward wings. You'd think it just drops like a 10,000-pound stone and craters into the dirt. But it doesn't. Helicopter engineers are paranoid geniuses, so they built in the ultimate physics cheat code. It's called autorotation, and it's the biggest flex in physics. When the engine dies, the blades instantly disconnect from the dead engine. They just spin freely on their own like a giant fidget spinner. As gravity violently rips the chopper down, a massive hurricane of air rushes up through the blades. That upward wind physically forces the blades to keep spinning. It works exactly like those little helicopter maple seeds you dropped as a kid. The faster you fall, the faster the air rushes up. The faster the air rushes up, the faster the blades spin and create lift. You are literally using the air of your own terrifying freefall to power the wings. It's not a gentle glide. You are basically in a falling elevator. But those spinning blades store up massive amounts of invisible kinetic energy. At 50 feet off the ground, the pilot pulls back on the controls. The blades take one massive, fat bite of the air, using all that stored energy. For one physics-defying second, the falling metal brick instantly halts in midair. And then, it gently touches down like a feather. No engine, no power, just trading gravity for one heroic burst of aerodynamic witchcraft. The helicopter literally uses gravity's own energy to defeat gravity. So next time you see a chopper aggressively thumping through the sky, don't look at it like a bird. It is a chaotic, rage-fueled revel that refuses to play by nature's rules. It doesn't surf the sky. It beats it into submission. It is the ultimate mechanical bully, and it is absolutely glorious.